Seems like YouTubers are cultivating a following to one day convert their buyers on to Kickstarter. This is fine. Not being upfront about it isn't. Their channels are now just commercials. Some of them do definitely do seem to aim that way. Starblazer, where if they can't make money directly through YouTube, they start working at YouTube. They Some of the guys would just say shit I don't even think they care to talk about. They're just going to talk about it and try to build up so they can sell a product later. It's all about trying to get ahead with this. And they'll be like, here's what's funny. I'll find this funny. Guys will say, well, I'm only here for fun. And then they'll look over at a guy like me who's a little bit more open, like I'm here to grow and have some success and impact the conversation. They'll be like, I'm here for fun. Like what he's here is for ridiculous and it's delusional. But then when you examine exactly what they're doing, like their planned streams and everything else, you start realizing, no, they're here for success. They're here for money. And if it's not money directly through YouTube, you know what I mean? It's going to be money through trying to sell something. Well, they do. Like I come here and I'll connect with the people like yourself, just talking like this, right? They'll bring people onto their streams, ignore half the chat, and I mean most of the time you're only going to get a response if you're paying money. Like they're there to work and make something, and some of them, not all, but there's some credible criticism to say some of them will throw the future of the hobby under the bus to get ahead. Like they really will. I mean, I just think that's plain true. The quality of the hobby and betterment for gaming. Some of the guys out there, not all, they're not all guilty of this, but I mean, it's just, but they'll throw the hobby under the bus to get ahead. Yeah, they're just it's an alternative version. They'll criticize WotC all day, but then when you actually examine what they're doing, it's very deceitful too. Like, I just go, the best thing, honesty is my policy. That's it. And I directly care about the hobby. I try to make an impact. And I focus on the actual audience. Like, I really do. Like, you guys are the stars of my show type of thing, right? Like, I'm here to talk to you and get to know you and connect. And I'm very upfront. Like, I want to grow or be successful. It's like, well, hey, you can say that turns you off or something as an audience member. Somebody might say that, but I'm like, well, the difference between me and the guy who says he's here for fun and you think he is, he's not here for fun. The guy is straight up here for something else. And all you got to do is examine the actions. But what happens, Starblazer, is if you say what a certain part of the audience wants to hear, there's a lot of biased thinking and how they view what's happening. Like that guy's really nice over there. Like, okay. I don't sit here and preach at people when they come into the chat and they'll say a specific YouTuber. I know the guy is not the most honest person in the world. I know the history with some people here too, where they've adjusted how they do some content. They'll be like, well, that guy over there, he's like really genuine and honest. I'm like, well, I know, I'm thinking to myself, I know better, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, it's not my job to sit there and preach at people about how these people are. And I don't mention names because it's not about the individual drama for me. That's boring. And here's another thing, Starblazer. Guys will come by if I do criticism about WotC in the new school, nobody will ask me for a name. If I say the YouTubers over there like this, nobody will come by and say, well, who are you talking about? But then if I do the same type of content about the old school, and I talk in similar ways about them, guys, because they have a biased view, they don't realize I'm just doing the same thing on both sides. They'll be like, well, tell names. Well, what are the reasons I really don't? I'm criticizing. It is a general commentary on a certain part of the hobby. It is not to start drama. One of the main reasons I don't say names, like, other than in the past when I would react to people like a guy doing 20 streams on me, and there I am saying his name in reaction, not initiating any attack on the guy. That would be the reason. But I mean, it's outside of that. I don't say names, and I just tell guys, the commentary or the criticism I'm putting out there, I think is the valuable part. And what happens if I say somebody's name? Well, the point I made, the commentary on the topic overall is going to be ignored. The point's going to be ignored. The name is going to be like, oh, there's a name. He's starting drama. He's attacking somebody. And then everything is thrown out like, you know, the with the bathwater type of thing, right? Oh yeah, they're just, some of them are like, they're almost jealous of other parts of YouTube. And if you come in here with any type of I notice when guys hit a certain mark, guys that aren't that talented, but they get in a certain position on here. If you come in here and you have more talent for this, for entertaining people and talking to people than they do, if you bow the knee and go stream with them so they look like champions, okay, you could be welcomed in. But if you won't bow the knee to them and look like an idiot, and you keep showing your quality, especially in the old school, they will not accept you as some fellow YouTuber. You will get pushed out, ignored. You know, there's nothing positive about it. I'm like, it's a very bad way to go at YouTube. Just a very bad way. Because every other part of YouTube, they're not as insecure. And you'll notice, like, go to any other subject, and it could be about gaming, like video games, I mean. And if somebody comes along and it's really talented, every other gamer YouTuber will shine that guy up. No bow the knee, no nothing, because they understand they've clued into one thing, and I've heard their conversations. Like, this is what they say. It's what other YouTubers say that are in successful parts of other parts of YouTube. It's not from me. They'll say the reason they do that is, and they don't get jealous, is because when you're all doing the same content, you're sharing an audience to a degree, right? So think of it like your audience like a pool. And, you know, you want to grow that pool. Now, that will just grow gradually, hopefully pretty decently with your own work and the other YouTubers around. But that can get dry. And when you get a new, hot, talented person coming in to do the content around you, you can either look at that as competition, but that's a foolish way to look at that YouTuber. It's let them shine, because in reality, they build up the pool. And the more people they bring in, the more those people will also come to your YouTube channel. And what you'll realize is the audience doesn't care, especially if you don't have drama with each other. They don't care. The idea in their head is like, well, they don't care about he's better than you type of gimmick. That doesn't matter to them. And so when you build the pool up, it's good for everyone. It's just plain out good. It brings more people around the topic. Plain out good for YouTube. And the old school is the only part of the hobby, especially, let alone one of the only parts of YouTube that does this, where if you come in, you got to bow the knee. You can't shine. It's harder to build up the pool. The pool gets really dry, right, of who you're going to share out. It just dries up, and they don't let people shine. And so I criticize them a bit for allowing leechers, which is, I call YouTube leechers. And I don't want to put any names out there, Starblazer, but it will be guys like, well, okay, that guy, without your help, probably couldn't get like 500 subs on his own. I'm not trying to pick, I'm just being real with some people. Yet, with the help of going on streams and being propped up, even though they have no talent for YouTube, if they play the right game, they could build themselves up to 2,000 or 3,000 people. Right? Now, it's an audience they couldn't earn on their own. And when they walk away from getting support from the other guys, they won't grow much, because in reality, they don't have the talent to maintain that audience. They don't even have the talent on their own to get that audience. Right? Like they can barely maintain it, just barely maintain what they have. And I call them leechers, because they're not going to grow the pool. So no one's coming around because of them. You're not going to build the pool of the audience, and they're going to leech off the other YouTubers. Let them leech. Clapping seals is right. Yep, that's you. You probably heard me say that a few times where they're doing this. Ooh. I'm like, it's so obvious, dude. It's just, here's the problem, Starblazer. You're clearly not in the echo chamber. So when you take an honest look from the outside looking in on some certain groups of people, you can just see the complete truth about who they are. And what will blow your mind is how many people are in the echo chamber and that they cannot see it at all. Like they have biased thinking. They are everything you're just saying. They are, and it's even if they can somewhat see the truth for a second, they'll start wanting to defend their echo chamber and ignore you. And if you make too much of an impact on them, like in the criticism you put out there, as a group, they'll try to attack you. And sometimes in their minds, if there's more people on this side than the individual, that means the majority must be right. Now, in life, that's not always untrue. There's all kinds of situations where the majority is going to be right over the individuals. It's only that changes when you finally run into an echo chamber. When you run into an echo chamber, ironically, because most of them are in an echo chamber, the individual, especially an honest one, looking from the outside looking in, will be right more times than the actual echo chamber mass amount of people. That will be the situation where it changes. Right, the individual is now going to be right. The echo chamber is going to be wrong, and the echo chamber just will still have it in their heads. Well, if we all believe this, there must be something wrong with you. No, actually, you're an echo chamber. I'm likely right here, right? But it doesn't mean that's not true in life. Sometimes the individual really is just, man, if everyone thinks this and you think that, you probably got an issue there. That is true a lot of times, but it's just people don't get it. When you get to an echo chamber, that switches. That can switch, right? And it's usually an individual that has to break through to an echo chamber. That's why if you study history long enough, Starblazer, that's how you realize there's people that will be brainwashed into believing something. And throughout history proves this, where it's individuals that have to take the hit a lot of times to overall change massive groups of people in their thinking. And what you find out many years later throughout history is, in some cases, individuals are completely right. It's the mob that was wrong. The mob was completely wrong, right? And the individual was right. That happens when you get echo chambers. Like they might believe something because some politician or leader that is lying to them, right? Or a group of leaders who have lied to them have held up a lie pretty well. And so a mass amount of people will believe the lie. And it will take honest individual people that are willing to take major hits, right? But and how do those people win the day? I've learned this over the years. It's how I studied this. How I changed minds personally is just tell the truth, right? You say Samuel Icon isn't about the money. It's just straight lying to his audience. The dude is clearly all about the money. Just don't lie to the audience. Not hurt. You could be honest, like, yeah, of course cons are going to be about money. You got to put things out. Here's how you change minds. You put something out there that's true. It's like planting a seed. And Starblazer, when people will leave here, things are going to have to happen. And if I've told the truth, for example, here's how I've changed some minds a lot of times. If I tell you the truth and the other guys don't, well, then whatever happens will either line up with what I said or line up with the other side. And over the years, things line up with what I say. Like if I tell you, well, this is going to happen next so many years, yeah, and I'll have people calling me bullshit. Next so many years, guys, the YouTubers will all start repeating what I said 5 years earlier. Because I was telling the truth. So now their dismissal of me 5 years earlier is just completely gone. Now they're actually repeating my words, right? Making my same arguments. But still, I'm still Voldemort. I still won't be acknowledged as the person who said it 5 years earlier. Right? But it's like, whatever. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with cons being about money or part of it being about money. I think there's a mix. People can partly care, but their biased thinking means they'll want money first. That might be more important to them. But if they say it's not about the money, it's like, dude, people are there trying to become a name, sell their books, promote their ideas, become authority figures, and that is to gain success, to gain followings, to gain money. But there's nothing wrong with your hard work earning that for you. That's what they don't. I don't. So I agree with you. I don't get a Starblazer why they bother lying, because there's nothing wrong. And the more honest you are, the more genuine you can be. Because the more you spend time lying, the more you'll actually stop doing whatever good you were doing. Like everything becomes about that. It's like, dude, you can still be in it for the money and still care. And the more honest you are, the more real you'll feel that you are. It will actually make you, the more honest you are, the better you are as a human being. Even if you're honest about wanting to be successful and get a hit. That's why I say it's no good to sit there and lie to people and say, I'm only on here for fun, but then I examine all your actions. Well, you're doing a stream every week on a certain schedule. Yeah. You're doing videos at a certain time of the day for a certain reason. Yeah. Well, dude, if you keep lying about that, it will destroy your character inside. It will make you fake. And if you're willing to lie about this, you'll find yourself within that habit lying about other things that you normally wouldn't. Like, you should just be honest. But here's what they're scared of, Starblazers. Some guys out there, they lie sometimes because they want to be able to set up things for later. It's like, what if you want to be successful on YouTube, but you fail? I mean, if you look at it after so many years, if somebody's not gotten somewhere, it means they failed. And who wants to say that they failed? Most guys don't. So a lot of guys on here will say they're on here for fun, but I'm like, okay, well then 4 years later, well, if you're on here for fun, it doesn't matter. But if you're on here to get somewhere, that means you failed. Who wants to say that about themselves on here? Nobody does. It's big ego. And they'll be honest sometimes with some things, but not others, which I find weird. It's like compartmentalizing their mind. Like, they lie about this, but it's still, they're more deceitful about other things, because the more you lie, the more you'll lie. The more you'll lie. And even worse is projection. Many of the guys out here are lying about who they are. Will sit there and try to project the reality of who they are onto a guy like me. I'm like, everything you say about me, dude, is true about you. That's why I get on them sometimes when they say, Steven can't take a joke or anything like that. Well, I do it in public now. Like, it's years ago when I wasn't streaming to show them I could handle all that. They would just assume all that. But the truth is, most of them couldn't handle a joke. Most of them couldn't handle debating. Most of them were walking on eggshells. These were all the same guys who said I couldn't handle it. I'm like, dude, let alone I can handle it. Well, obviously you see it now live more often. Like, often I handle everything. Debates, poking, joking around. Fuck. I handle it all, and I handle it really well. But you guys were all walking on eggshells, pretending you can handle it, and then preaching as if I couldn't. And then when you see them actually challenged with real poking, they can't handle it for a joke. When you see them get into real debates, they can't handle it. They go on edge and freak out. Complete warping of reality. So I'm like, well, you know, I knew that. I knew it years ago. I knew it right away. They'd say, like, we can handle jokes. But I'm like, yeah, but if you examine your stream and all the people on the stream, you guys are all unknowingly walking on eggshells right now while you're joking around. Like, have you paid attention to that part? Do you even notice that you're doing that? That you're walking on eggshells and being careful? Do you have the intellect to figure that out about yourselves? Do you realize that you're walking on eggshells about debates? You say you can handle them, but I'm watching. No, you can't. So when they finally get challenged with this stuff, they absolutely fall apart. Somebody really pokes them, they get really mad. Yeah, I try not to hate the guys. They'll be behind the scenes. Some of the guys that you mentioned will attack me, not knowing me at all. They're phony as the day is long. I got nothing to say about individuals like that. Like, I think I know exactly who you're talking about, but I don't hate the guy. I mean, yeah, I wish him success. Like, I mean, I hope he has it. I don't get jealous. I don't care. But unlike some of these guys out here, and I won't just say him because there's no drama here, but a lot of guys always busy implying how better they are than you. I do it this way. Well, what are they implying? They're better than the next guy who does something alternative. I'm like, guys, if you're secure about yourself, you wouldn't always have to imply that you're better. That's an obvious insecurity, right? And then some of these guys, game designers, I pick at them a lot because old school, go back to the 80s and that, Gary and them were very humble to understand just how important the person who ran the game is compared to them. Like Gary Gygax was really genuinely good on being honest about this stuff. There's things he said I don't always agree with. I don't bow to the legend of Gary Gygax, but the guy was very wise in his day and a lot more humble than you see people today. Like he'd say, like, I hope they don't realize that they don't need our game to play the game. True. But he also realized the main thing that everyone's here for is the experience at the table. And the one who makes sure that thing goes round is the person who runs the game. And if you don't have people that are capable of running the game, your hobby is dead. Like the market's dead. The games and the games so the market overall is second to the person who runs the game. The game itself is secondary to the person who runs the game. Like basically imagine trying to have a video game market like with PlayStation games, but you have no PlayStations, or you only have a few PlayStations. Right? Just imagine that. Like PlayStation, the gaming console, the PC place that you game. If you're a game designer making video games, you can't deny how important that piece of the puzzle is for everything to work. It becomes so important, it's almost more vital than you that thing works. Right? Old game designers always understood in the hierarchy of things. The game master was here, they were here. And 2026, especially in the old school, a lot of the game designers falsely put themselves up here, and everyone else, including the game master, is here for importance. Like they're this important to the hobby. I'm like, well, dude, a lot of games fail, and they fail for one reason. Like, no matter how important you thought you were to the hobby or how important your game was, it's like, well, how well does your game produce people to run it? You start realizing you're not going to build in PlayStation. Your game has to sit there and make sure people can run it. Like people that you're going to inspire that and build that up. And if not, your game going to the market means nothing. So Gary and them all understood this. Game master up here. Like we are the PlayStation. We are the thing that makes everything work. Without us, you're completely. You don't even have a hobby. You don't have a market. Games are no good. A hobby is no good. You need that, and it's like once you understand that's the most important piece of the pie. As a game designer, you don't sit there and treat the people that make the magic happen at the table as secondary to you. You appreciate their position. You understand how important they are. And you even understand, like, you're leaning on them for your game. Like, you don't mess with them. And the only other cheap way to do it is either go raw, which means anybody can just try to run a sort of terrible version of the game, very mediocre, or you have to be pretty free and give a lot of authority over to the guy who runs the game. That's why all the old school games say, if your game master says this, if your game master is going to use this, if, because they understand the game and the company has to bow the knee to the person who runs the game. And the game text made that clear. So, but I don't, as far as individual people, I mean, it's like when Starblaze are the reason. I wouldn't mention names. Here's another reason. There's always a variety of people guilty of certain things. The implication, the constant implying that they're better than other people. A lot of guys do that around the old school. Constantly. It's an insecurity. A lot of them can be like that. Yep. Very arrogant, but I get it's annoying, but what you're really seeing is insecurity. Like truly confident people aren't like that at all. They don't need to constantly imply how they're better than other people. Just doesn't exist. And it's again, I'm not just picking. Like I'm nothing against individual people. Like I get the audience can have their whatever opinions they want. I think we all, as public people, have to just you let the audience think what they want. That's how this game works. You put yourself out here and people in the audience that aren't participating in what we do as public figures have the right to not like me, not like this person, to have their critical thoughts. That's okay, right? Yeah. I mean, it would make for a better situation all around, because some of it becomes you become accustomed to a certain thing, and then you make a certain part of the audience accustomed to a certain thing, and it's a very shallow part of the audience that you're feeding into. But look, it's cheap growth. It's this, you're talking to an audience that has a small ceiling, right? And it's like, okay, well, I mean, if your ego needs that rub, have it. If you need to constantly go around implying that you're better than other people, that's on you. That's on you. But would I just go after him as some target thing? Like, no, that's unfair. It's unfair just because so many guys do it. So just to keep saying his name would be that. I get how people would see that as like me personally, like what you say is your business. I can't, as public people, we can't tell the audience what they can say or what they can think, and we can't like there is a limit. There is a limit. There are certain things that if you said them, I'd be like, dude, cool down there. But I mean, on just your critical opinion about other people, that's on you. It's not something as a public figure I bother to focus on. But I get what you're saying. Just understand my position. I'm not just talking about this to avoid what you're saying. It's just to say I really don't have beef with the guy. So the individual you're talking about there, and I personally hope he has success. I really do, even if he is out there doing whatever. It's like, dude, I'm not jealous. I hope whatever hard work you put into whatever you're doing, man, works out for you. Cool. That's great. A lot of guys, though, some people in his circle will constantly take shots at me without mentioning my name, which can be a little weird, where it's like, they're aiming stuff at you, and it's like, dude, you don't know me. You really don't. Like, you've just heard about me, you're assuming a lot of things, and it's become stupefied because I can't take what you say serious if you're simply wrong about who I am. Like, it just doesn't match reality for me. So it's like, oh, well, you could think that. Some of these guys have their opinions. Look, I don't think they have that much sway over things going on, but in a way, it's sad to see it so often. Because I think the ego gets in the way of, like, you're not going to get an honest person like me to want to talk to you if you keep behaving like this. So it's just not going to happen. All right. I'm not going to be attracted to having that guy in a stream or people like him or anybody like in that circle because they behave that way. I can't control it, but just be more honest. I am. And I live it. Like, if I say something out here, I'll be really honest if I failed at something. And they'll laugh at me about it, but it's like, okay, well, I've also done this. I play long game there, Starblazer. I'll sit there and I'll say failure. And they'll say, well, they'll laugh at me for a couple of days. And an audience that already doesn't like me will sit there and laugh too. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to lose any support, but here's what's going to happen by me being honest. And they don't realize the long game because they're all short-term thinkers. By being honest, that builds up credibility for me. If I fail something, it's like, okay, I failed. But it's like later, when people want somebody who's serious about something, they'll come to me before they go to them. It's like you say what you want about Steven. He's honest. I want to go see what he thinks. And that's credibility they don't get. That's long game. And I'm very honest that I played the things that way. But a lot of guys here that we're talking about Starblazer or you're talking about individually, a lot of them are short-term guys. Like they see everything in the short term. Like everything's now. They don't see, like, I'm like, well, if you talk this way or have this attitude, what is it going to be like in a year? And some of them don't think about that because they're all an instant success. This is where I say some of them are very thoughtless and they'll throw the hobby under the, in the ocean, under the bus, right? Because it's like, well, the way you're acting right now is going to harm how we talk about this stuff. It's going to harm new people coming in and hearing about this stuff. It's going to harm how people are actually going to experience the game when they're going to sit down because of the ways they've heard about things. This is actually going to harm the hobby. It's going to harm it 2 years from now, 3 years from now, 4 years from now, 5 years from now, for actual people sitting down to play the game. Like, you're actually, like, the outcome is going to be negative for people that actually try to play the game, right? And so but guess what? They don't care, because that short-term thing got them some more subs, got them a few more sales, got them some short-term ego boost. I'm like, well, okay, fair enough, but I'll do stuff that might take a little bit more grinding, and I'll get a payoff later. But it will benefit people later too. Like, my content will help with designers, right? So designers are hearing a lot of old ideas that I know has not been talked about openly, because it's not how people talk about the old games. Concepts, like, it's just going to be concepts, and trying to understand the games too in different ways. It's going to be interesting when you're always hearing the same thing about a game, right? It's new ideas that I'm going to bring into the picture. And then over time, people appreciate it, because not everybody just wants to sit down and listen to every game I'm going to cover right now. But I've noticed over time, views keep slowly building up on a lot of things I'm doing. And then credibility slowly builds up. It's a long game, but I'm playing long game, right? So I don't care about the short-term attacks. Like, well, you're only this right now, not getting too far. I'm like, well, yeah, and you're getting maybe ahead of me, somebody that might have been lower than me and then getting ahead of me really quick or in shorter term. I'm like, yeah, but in ways that's going to hurt you more. You just don't know it yet. And you might even get a lot bigger than me. It doesn't mean in the long run, in 5 years, this will hurt you more. And for me, playing the longer game. But I'm as guilty as a lot of people, Starblazer. I got caught up responding to people. And even though in some parts I was playing the long game, I got caught up playing the short game a bit too. But I'm honest about that. I've put out content saying that. Oh yeah, some of them obviously don't like me either, as you know, my dude, as you know, which is sad, because it's like, I think I bring a lot to the conversation, and it would benefit other content creators and people wanting to be public to actually talk to me. Like, think about what people thought, and then suddenly I started doing the interviews. Everyone was saying, interviews are great. Like, dude, but I've always had. Your biased thinking is what stopped you from seeing what was obvious in front of you already. Then when you see an interview, you're like, well, he did really good. Well, dude, you would know I was going to do good on this if you just didn't look at me with a very biased lens, right? You would realize it already. Like, it would already be, you'd clue into it a long time ago. And it's harming. It doesn't just harm me when, say I try to do something that might be appeasing a bit to that part of the or that echo chamber. I'm like, dude, when you guys put me down, I'll be fine. I won't. Fair enough. I won't get you. But it does harm you to not want to have somebody like me in the conversation. Like, I know a lot. I have some real genuine experience, and if you keep painting a false picture of who I am, you won't even see the truth. Well, he doesn't know anything, but anybody with a biased view of me, here's what I say, and they go like, yeah, man, you know a lot. I'm like, yeah, well, I do. That means I'd be good for a panel. I'd be good for a discussion about tabletop role-playing games. And I bring a lot of deep thinking to the conversation, right? Oh, that's it. You have to. That's why I put up my video saying, like, I failed to sell my game at the time. You got to self-reflect and grow, and you got to be honest. I'm not perfect now. I wasn't perfect even years ago, but my thing is always the aim to improve, because I want to go somewhere with it and aim at something real. But some guys, yeah, you're right. Some guys just live in lies. They live in lies. And by the time they give into something, it's when they can sort of give into it without looking like they failed at something. Like, they can't be honest, they can't grow. No, they'll never give me credit for exactly Starblazer. 1,000,000%. 1,000,000%. It will never be acknowledged. I'll be painted as an asshole and everything. That 1,000,000% correct. 1,000,000% correct. That's 1,000,000% correct. Like there's not even a slight doubt that will be the outcome. That will be 100% the outcome. They'll lie about me and everything, and I'll do this, and they won't see it. It goes right over their heads. Everything I've done, because it's biased thinking. Like you can see it clearly because you have no biased view on me, right? You're just taking me in, and you're like, okay, he's not full of shit. That's good. You don't have some background says you don't like me for a reason. So you show up here without any qualms with me, and for that reason, you'll see the truth. Yeah, it's exactly it. I'm as fair as can be. Oh man, it's usually I try to treat other people how I want them to treat me. That's what they don't get. So it's like that's when they say what I'm doing is an attack. Like again, I always use the example of the guy who's done 20 streams on me, and I do like a 5-minute response to him, and then people act like I've initiated some attack on the guy. I'm like, dude. What about the first 10 streams? I didn't respond to that. What about 5 more streams? I didn't respond to that. We finally hit 20. I finally respond, dude. The reason I'm not doing the first 10 is because I don't want the drama initially. Right? Then when I finally hit 20, it's, dude, I'm giving back a bit of what's given out to me, but I'm not even looking to do that in the first place. Right? I'm looking to be someone who does commentary on the hobby, on different parts, and on the games. And that's it. That's my main aim. I just don't want the drama, but if you have a biased view of who I am, you'll think that.